Hey, it's the Fish Guy reporting to you from the studio at Something Fishy with the latest news from Fish Guy TV. Today I'm excited to introduce a new training segment for both our retail customers and our team as well. Both our existing team and also the new team that joined us as the company continues to grow. We've put a lot of our training and all the important things in setting up, designing, and installing an aquarium onto video in short segments so that you can get things done right and done right the first time. Hey, it's the Fish Guy from Something Fishy. Today we're going to talk about plumbing, and there's quite a bit to cover, so hang in there with me, alright? So, first and foremost, when you're plumbing a fish tank, there's several different kinds of plumbing or hosing that you can use. Some of the most basic that you're going to see is vinyl tubing. This tubing is typically what you're going to see at your typical pet store, and a lot of people plumb their tanks with this. It's not what Something Fishy uses or recommends when you're plumbing a fish tank. You have to remember, when you're plumbing a fish tank, you should plumb it just like you would do the plumbing in your home. And you want it to be reliable and long-lasting. And vinyl tubing is very good, but a lot of times the fittings that put it together can fail and cause leaks that you certainly don't want to have to deal with. So this is one type of vinyl tubing. Another thing, if vinyl tubing is installed in a tight area, it can kink like that. They do make another kind of vinyl tubing that's called kink-free, and it's reinforced here with the ribs. And again, if I bend it, it's not going to kink. This is used just like kink-free. It's used with barb fittings and hose clamps going over it to tighten it down to the barb fitting. This right here is rigid PVC pipe, and this is what we use at Something Fishy when we're professionally installing an aquarium. This pipe is much more durable, it's fixed, it can't bend. You have to be a little bit more precise in your installation, so it's a little bit more complicated and it requires a little bit more of a skill set to install it. Another type of piping that we have is also PVC flex. This is as good as using rigid pipe. It's professional grade. It won't fail, or it doesn't have the issues that I spoke of previously with the kink-free or the vinyl. This pipe, along with PVC pipe, is assembled all through glued fittings, and we'll demonstrate that in a little while. And once you do glue the pipe together, it is fixed permanently, and if done properly, should never have a leaking issue. Okay, most of the plumbing on an aquarium or a sump, which is typically where you're going to start your plumbing, your water is going to come from your sump filtration unit and go up to your fish tank. Most of it's going to start in the sump. Most sumps, this next to me is actually the back of an aquarium, and you can see there's already a hole drilled in it. So this might be for the return line to from the sump to the aquarium. In order to get the plumbing to go through the tank, you're going to use what's called a bulkhead fitting, which is this right here. So there's a throat on this, and an inlet, and then the nut. And there's a gasket right here. This gasket needs to sit on the water side of your tank. So since this is my fish tank, the water is going to be inside. I'm going to come from inside and put my fitting through the hole, and then I'm going to secure it with this nut. You don't need to, the watertight seal is made by the gasket. You do not need to use any glues or anything to secure this. Just this nut, tightening this up, will work just fine. The nice thing about this is if you have a problem down the road, it is removable. So I'm going to hand tighten it, and then you might want to take a wrench and just do about 1/4 of a turn with the wrench. You don't want to over tighten this. It is just plastic and it can crack over time. Okay, well, with this in place now you can just make a watertight seal in your aquarium, and now you can plumb this to your filter or your pump or whatever the application might be. Okay, so to demonstrate how we put rigid PVC together, let me show you. This is called a coupling, and a coupling that's glued by glued means there's no threads inside of it, and then your pipe are going to be assembled as follows. The first thing that you want to do is have PVC cleaner or primer, and you want to clean the outside of the pipe. Just a little bit, you don't have to go overboard with this, and you're going to clean both ends that you're putting together. The reason that this is purple is so that you can tell what parts you've cleaned and what you may not have cleaned. All PVC pipe is shipped with a protective coating on it, and this will remove that coating and make the glue adhere better so that there's no leaks. Once those are cleaned, then you can take your glue and again just put a small amount completely around the entire pipe on the inside of the female side, and then the male side we're going to glue as well, and you're just going to put the two together. You're going to push it together and hold it just for a few seconds, and in about a minute or two this will be completely cured, and within 15 minutes or so you can actually run water through it. So that is a coupling fitting, and again I could glue this side as well. Nice tool that will come in handy are these PVC cutters. You can cut any rigid pipe up to 1 inch, or also this flex pipe as well. To demonstrate this, you just take the PVC cutters, which are ratcheting, and cut through the pipe. Makes a nice clean cut, and then you can glue this the same way I demonstrated earlier. Another thing that would be important is anytime that you have a pump application drawing water in, wherever the water is coming from, you want to use a screen intake so that you don't bring any debris into your pump. And this is pretty easily done. If your bulkhead is going into your sump, this is your sump and your pump's on the other side, you take the screen fitting and just put it right into the insert. I would not glue this so that it can be removed at a later time. The next thing that we want to look at is called a check valve. When you're pumping water from your sump up to your aquarium, when the water goes into your aquarium, it typically goes through a return nozzle that may be settled down a few inches into your tank, like the ones behind me here that are black nozzles. When the water shuts off in your fish tank, water will back siphon through those nozzles down into your aquarium. This is a high quality Schedule 80 ball check valve. What that means is that inside of this unit is actually a round ball about the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bit smaller. And as water pushes up, the ball hits some teeth and does not make, because of the teeth, there's not a solid seal, so water pushes through it. When the siphon comes backwards, the ball itself sits very nice on a gasket that makes a watertight seal, and the pressure from the water tightens that down so that you don't have any leaking. So with this in place, you will not get water back siphoning. The nice thing with this too is at times you might get a piece of plastic or a piece of a plant or a snail that can get stuck in here. If you use what's called a double union, you can, if this is plumbed into place, you can take it right off on both ends, and now I can remove my check valve. Number one, if I had to, I could replace this, or I can just put my finger in there and move that ball around to make sure that it's not hindered by anything. And then again, easy application to just put it back into place. And again, that's going to be a balled check valve. There are other check valves on the market. A lot of them are flap driven, so as the water goes up, it opens the flap. When the water comes back down, it closes it. Most of them are operated on a spring, and over time the spring wears, and if it wears, it cannot function properly. So either it doesn't open properly or it doesn't close properly. Again, if it doesn't close properly, then at some point you're going to end up with water overflowing in your sump because the tank will drain down to those nozzles. So the few extra dollars on the ball check valve is always important. The ball cannot fail. Just about. You could get something stuck in there, but that's very seldom. This is going to be your most secure way of preventing water from back siphoning into the tank. Alright, I think we've covered all the basics on the plumbing for a fish tank. Of course, our technical support within the store and also our service division is always available to help you further, or it can even be hired to come out and perform the plumbing for you. The plumbing is a little bit more complicated aspects within the aquarium. It's something that you just want done right, and you want it done right the first time, and we can help you with that. Check us out at somethingfishyinc.com and check out our other training videos as well. Have a great day. Hey, it's the Fish Guy back in the studio reporting to you for Fish Guy TV. Got it. Take 2. we're going to talk about plumbing and some of the things that will be essential to know if you're going to do plumbing on your own. And Chris will just delete everything before that and start over.